I've had some folks asking for updates on my Eresus species, also known as velvet or ladybird spiders, and I finally have some clips to share. First up, I have my tiny Eresus ruficapillus or Italian velvet spider. I caught this footage a couple of months ago and I thought that it was just the cutest thing. I've found that these guys can be vicious hunters that will go after prey as large as themselves, although they will often take their time in attacking and eventually consuming their prey. Now, when I do offer them feeders on the larger size, I always crush the feeders' heads first so that they will present no danger to the spider if they are not eaten. This little E. ruficapillus actually spent several minutes hauling its kill down into its web burrow before it finally started to consume it. Still, I thought that its efforts were quite adorable and worth sharing. Next, we have my immature female Eresus walckenaeri or Greek velvet spider. I got this one from Tom Patterson at Hardcore Arachnids back in January of 2022, and at that time she was just a tiny speck of a thing. Having never kept velvets before, I was so worried that she would fail to thrive in my care. Well, she is now close to 1 inch or 5 centimeters, and as you can see, she is doing quite well. This video here is from her second post-molt feeding, and as you can see, she loves to sneak up on her prey from underneath the webbing, often biting and attacking it through the silk. Although this behavior is quite adorable, especially when she finally pulls the roaches through the webbing and into her den, it's made it quite difficult for me to get any good shots of her. Luckily, she was nice enough to surface this time so that I could show her off a bit. While reading up on velvet spiders, I discovered a lot of conflicting information, especially when it came to moisture. Although some folks like to mist theirs on occasion and others try moistening part of the sub, I keep mine bone dry all year round and feed them every couple of weeks or so. All 4 of them have seemed to thrive under these conditions, eating well and molting with regularity. This is a slower growing spider, so keep in mind that it can take a few years before your tiny sling matures into an adult. Also remember that if you offer your tiny specimens large prey to scavenge feed off of, like a cricket leg or pre-killed roach, they can fill up and go into pre-molt rather quickly. That can be unnerving to keepers, as the spiders will often hide in their webbing during this period until after they molt, making them very difficult to spot. I have to admit that initially I avoided keeping velvet spiders as I just didn't get the appeal. However, now that I've been working with them for a few years, I totally understand what all the fuss is about. Personally, I think that their ease of care, longevity, and undeniable cuteness factor make them a wonderful gateway spider for the arachnid hobby.